Hi, hello. How are you doing today? It is Laura, your Totally You coach, and I am over the moon to be with you today to talk about how you can ignite your calling. It's something that I've been doing a really deep dive into at the moment. Loads of research, talking with loads of fabulous people about how they found their calling. And I've also been on that journey myself, which a lot of you will know if you've been friends or connected with me over the past year. I have gone from having a successful career in human resources. I was able to travel the world with the company that I was with, work on fantastic projects, really make an impact. And as was the case with a lot of us in the heart of COVID last year in lockdown, I just hit rock bottom. I was so burnt out and physically couldn't take on anymore, mentally didn't want to do it and didn't want to do anymore. And I just knew that there was something bigger and better out there for me. And thank the sweet Lord that I listened to that. And I've dedicated my life to it ever since. So I wanted to just impart some of the things that I've learned and what the research says as well to you wonderful people out there. How are you doing? Come and say hi if you're there, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching on the replay. So let's get straight to it, my beautiful friends. So the first thing is, you always start with why, isn't it? Why is finding your calling important? You know the answer. It's not rocket science, is it? When you find out what your reason why is and what your purpose is in life, then everything else can just flow from that, can't it? The decisions that you make will come easier. The joy that you bring to your life will be magnified. The amazing people that are around you will just come to you like a magnet and enrich your life and bring joy to your life and fun and happiness and challenges and growth in ways that if you're playing small, if you're messing about a little bit and you don't really know what you want to do and you're not putting any time and effort into that as well, you're going to find yourself drifting, aren't you? And don't get me wrong, there's ways where you can still be really good at what you do, you can still be really happy, but you might not know what your calling is or how to find it. So I really hope that this short masterclass is useful to you all. Thank you so much to everybody who's watching. Hello. Hi, Ange, Emma, Joanna, Faye. Oh, I can see so many of you, Kate, and hello everybody else who is across the different platforms. Hello. Hi, nice to see you. So first things first, I wanted to get into some myths about what calling is and isn't, if that's all right with you guys. I always thought, for one, a calling had to be one thing. Do any of you feel like that? That you're just magically meant to be born or you grow up thinking, right, I know exactly what I'm going to be when I grow up. I'm going to be a teacher, a scientist, a hairdresser, a nurse, an engineer, who knows it? One thing. That's the first myth that I'm going to bust. It's absolutely not the case. It's rooted in what was good advice at the time. So if you think about our parents and our grandparents, when they grew up, there wasn't as many choices as to how you could find paid employment, was there? You certainly wouldn't travel as far as we probably do now. Didn't have the technology. You couldn't be beaming into America, Australia, who knows, wherever from your desk at home, could you? You couldn't do that. So your options were limited. And they often involved picking a trade or a discipline that you would have to learn your craft in, wouldn't you? And it tended to be that if you got good benefits like a pension or you built up annual leave, the whole job for life was a concept that was prevalent, wasn't it? Everybody was like, yes, I'm in there, I've got my job, I'm sorted, I'm working with my colleagues, I know why I'm turning up every day, I know why I'm here, and I'm bringing in a wage that will keep me happy and hopefully roof over our head, food on the table, and so on. So that is the first myth that I want to bust. Please don't think that you have to just have one calling and that you can only channel your efforts into one thing. If you take me as an example, I've got what you would call a portfolio career. Check me out, which is where I am a coach, first and foremost, and a mentor. slightly separate to that. And I also do speaking and I do consultancy as well for businesses. Now, the reason that I do all of that is because I'm able to use my strengths, my passions, what my interests are for different things, but all of them have got commonalities and all of them contribute to what my calling is. Do any of you do that? Do you do various things? Are you still pretty much Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, which is absolutely fine as well? Let me know what you're thinking about or what you're doing in terms of doing how you perform your calling and how you execute your calling as well. Hi, Emma. The second thing as well is the concept that, which is really overwhelming when you think about it, that your calling has to be permanent. Again, I was brought up thinking this as well. It was just common. You do one thing, you stick at it, and you go for it. What COVID has shown us alone is that we absolutely can have a whole gig economy, can't we? We don't have to do full-time permanent roles anymore. We can do contracting work if we want to. We can do freelance. We can have one side hustle. We can have multiple side hustles. We can have hobbies that earn us money as well. So think about it like that as well. Your calling definitely doesn't have to be permanent, and it doesn't have to be singular as well. You can do more than one thing, and you can do it for as long or as little as you like. So you can be called in to do something, and you can similarly be called out to do something. So it's absolutely fine if you start off with your best intentions in mind and you go for a particular career or you go for a particular job, and then you realise, however far in, do you know what? This is actually not for me. That's fine. If you've given it a good go and if you're confident that it's not for you, try and get yourself out of there as soon as possible. Because my friend, the one thing that I think we've all learned, and that's been really brought home to us more than ever, particularly over the last 18 months, is that our lives are so precious and our time is so precious. Our energy, our resources, please use them wisely. And don't think, bit of tough love here, and I've fallen, fell to it myself, with almost a bit of a victim mentality. Oh, we've chosen this path, we have to do it. Kind of woe be me. Or my partner, my friends, I've told everybody now, oh my God, what people are going to think if I quit? Or what people are going to think if I change my mind and go down a different route? Ultimately, my friend, the only person's opinion that matters is yours, isn't it? You're the one that's got to look yourself in the mirror every day. You're the one, and hopefully it's not just me that hears the voices, that will be hearing the voices in your ear that will be saying, is this it? Is this actually what you meant to do? Come on, there's got to be more to life than this. Listen to that voice or voices, whatever works for you, and think, if I only had one go at life right now and I was to take a snapshot of my life right now, what would it reveal to me? Am I joyful? Am I happy? Am I vibrant? Am I full of life? Am I earning the income that I want to earn to drive the lifestyle that I want to learn? Am I impacting people positively? Am I impacting the world? Am I being part of the change that I want to see? So these are all good questions as well. And then the third myth that I want to bust on its butt is also the fact that you have to have this huge epiphany and this huge thunderbolt of lightning, like God almost parts the clouds and the sunbeams come down on you and like, Laura, you have found your calling, you're meant to do this. When you find your calling, it doesn't have to be like that. I mean, great if it is, that's fantastic. But for me, for example, it was just sitting on a beach, watching my kids play in the water. And for the first time, I really, really felt true joy and happiness in every cell of my body. And those of you that know me know that I'm a super happy, positive person, okay? But I'm talking about the kind of just contentness and happiness where you know that you don't actually need anything else. And we know that need and want are two different things, don't we? So yeah, do I want to lose 2 stone? Of course I do. Would I like to go on holiday to Santorini? Yes, I would. And so on. They're all the wants. But do I need any of that? No, I don't. I've got everything I need. How many of you, if you stop and reflect on your life right now, could actually look at it differently and say, do you know what? I agree, I've got everything that I need. Or if I haven't, I can start putting steps in place to get what I need. And perhaps it's not as insurmountable or it's not as huge or impossible as you might have previously been telling yourself. So I hope that that's helpful too. When you figured out your calling, callings, your passion, what you're passionate about, what your reason why is, that acts as like, for me, it's almost like not a force field. What's the word that I'm looking for? Like a source of power within me, like a fireball in my tummy and heart, where it can just radiate through me and really help with all of the decisions that I want to make, the choices that I want to make as well about how I live my life, what I will do, what I won't do, what I'll put up with, what I won't put up with. And it can just help you to achieve that real clearer vision so that I never think that you have regrets or that your time is hugely wasted. But can you imagine almost having that 2020 vision where you think, right, this is what I stand for. This is how I know how I impact the world. This is how I'm going to make my money. This is what I love. Right, I'm getting after it. So I'll do this. I won't do that. Thanks, Ange. I'm glad that resonates with you. That is what I want for all of us. Is it necessarily going to be easy? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I'm 39 now. I had to stop and think there. That's when you know you're getting old, when you've got to stop and think of your age, isn't it? Do I wish I'd known this at 21? Yeah. But you know what? Is it the end of the world that I didn't? No, because I've still had fantastic experience. I've got stories that would make your toes curl, your hair curl, the whole shebang. Magical people in my life and all great experiences. But by heck, had I have known a lot of what I know now, then still could have been quite different. So let's get down to business. So we've busted some myths. We've talked about why it's so important to focus on and dedicate yourself to understanding what your calling or callings are in life. How do we do that, Laura? Well, I'm glad you asked. I have got a very simple 4-stage framework for you. Now, for those of you that are familiar with Ikigai, you might have even came across this book. A friend bought me it just before we went to Australia about 3 years ago. You can tell it's well thumbed. It has been loaned out and absorbed by many friends, and I come back to this regularly. And for those of you that don't know, because it's not an expression you come across every day, Ikigai, Japanese term, and it essentially means finding your reason for being, which I think is so beautiful. And there are 4 simple ways that you can do this. Are you ready? Grab a pen and paper if you can. So the first one is, what do you love? Sounds simple, doesn't it? Write it down, ask yourself that question. Hi, Rachel. Hi, Emma. Ange. What do you love doing? And when you consider this question, don't think about any practicalities. Don't think about money. Don't think about what you're good at. I want you to think about, what do I love doing? What would I do even if I didn't get paid for it? What can I spend hours on where I'm just in a state of flow? Time slips away from me. I'm like, whoa, what happened there? Where'd the time go? What makes me feel, well, it's different for everybody, what your best feelings are. So for some people, doing what they love, they'll feel energized, they'll feel aligned, they'll feel happy, they'll feel chuffed to bits. Some people might feel really calm, really zen, really focused. So have a think about what you love and how you feel when you're doing it. That is number 1. The second one is, what are you good at? What are you good at? And what I want you to ask yourself here, my love, is, well, Rewind a little bit. What I don't want you to do is to be coy and to be humble and to be shy, as we tend to do in the British way, and also a very feminine way as well, because essentially we're brought up not to boast. We're brought up not to be super confident. So you might hear yourself saying things like, well, I'm okay at this. Yeah, I think I've had like feedback or comments before that I'm not too bad at this. I quite enjoy doing this. Don't want any of that, okay, my friend? Think about and think really objectively and with conviction, what are you good at? And little clues will be left for things like people will say, oh, go to Rachel for this. She's fantastic. She does it better than anybody else. She'll get it sorted in 10 minutes. Or, oh, did you not know Emma is so good at doing this? She's fantastic. She runs rings around everybody else. Or it could be that you find yourself doing a task, an activity, something where it just becomes effortless to you, but for somebody else could be like a major source of stress, or they'd have to train for it, prepare for it. So, for example, with me, I love to talk, as you know. I love to meet new people. So, one of my values is connection. I love connecting with people. I love connecting other people with each other as well. So, to me, if I was to hear networking or walking into a room full of strangers, I'm in my element. I really enjoy it. And I always joke on, can you remember, is it the Vanilla Ice song that's like, give me a problem, yo, I'll solve it. I always think, give me a room, yo, I'll work it. I know that sounds corny AF, but you always get the truth with me because I don't work it up into something crazy in my mind where I'm like, oh, I have to impress all these people, or I have to sell to them, or I have to like slip my business card out of my sweaty hand into theirs. I think of it as, oh my God, I love meeting people. I'm so nosy. I want to find out more about them, where they're from. And literally within 5 minutes, so if you've got secrets, hide from me. I will know your deepest, darkest secrets, what keeps you up at night, and the last fight you might have had with your other half, what you made for breakfast. Because I am at the point where I now know that is what I'm good at. Had you have asked me that 18 months, 3 years ago, I'd have been like, oh no, I mean, I don't mind networking, but yeah, everybody can do it, can't they? But not everybody can. So, my friend, what are you good at? Third question, and this is important, we can't shy away from it. What can you get paid for? Now, I've done a lot of work on this for me personally, probably over the last 18 months or so, and invested a lot of money, time, resources, working with some of the best people in the world to understand my money mindset. Have you guys came across that before as well, money mindset? I don't know if it's like a recent term or I think it definitely has become more popular lately. And the reason that I talk about it is for a few reasons. So what I want you to explore is really get creative when you think about what you can be paid for. You might have to do a bit of research. I mean, we're so lucky now. We've got our phones in our hands, haven't we? We've got access to computers and devices, so we can just check it at any point, do research. You get salary reports published. A lot of vacancies have salaries that are advertised with it. Sorry, baby brain, nearly kicked in there. I forgot my word. So the research is out there. But also, you'd be surprised at what things you can get paid for and what things you can get paid for well. And a lot of this, so that can be the example I gave before about a portfolio career, where it might be that on its own, you might not want to do one task, so it's not enough to cover your bills and give you the lifestyle you want, but you can blend it with other things. Or from a money mindset perspective, and this is what I go deep with all of my clients, what are your beliefs around money? Because if you tell yourself that, oh, I'm never going to earn any money from this, or, oh, I wouldn't even know how to ask somebody to buy what I do, or I wouldn't know how to pull together a proposition for what my products or services is, you've got that belief in those systems that are acting upon you, and we know, don't we? Our thoughts become our beliefs, and our beliefs become our actions, and actions becomes our behaviour. So don't sweat it if you know that you're carrying around beliefs that you might have inherited from your parents, caregivers, school, your other half, your best friends. And that can be anything from money doesn't grow on trees, or you've got to work really hard and you've got to hustle. There's got to be blood, sweat, and tears to make money. Whatever it might be, see if you can consciously think about it and write it down on paper so that you're aware of how it might influence your choices when you're thinking about what you can get paid for. And remember as well, because the world moves so quickly, things change, there's different trends, there's different politics, there's different technology. What you can earn money for now, literally that job or that function might not have existed a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So when you start getting clearer on what you're good at, it puts you in really good stead for you to spot the opportunities for where you can earn some dollar as well. How does that sound? We all good? Everybody still with me? Fantastic. And then coming on to our fourth one, which is, what does the world need? Now, with that, I look at this from two different ways. I look at this as quite literally, how can I impact the world, and hopefully how can I leave it a better place than when I came in? So you could think about things like everything from the environment to the communities that you serve around you. What else? What innovations might you make? What technology might you create? There's loads of things you can think about. So you've got your actual impact on the world, could be as small or as big as you'd like, okay? You do you. And then I think one of the other elements to it as well is, if you think about it in terms of what kind of people or skills does this world need as well? So if you think about COVID, the skills, the competencies, what we've had to show over the last 18 months, come on, what would they be? Help me out. Resilience, adaptability, belief, faith, confidence that it's all going to work out okay. And all of those you can translate as skills, can't you? So even if it's not that clear on what you think your perhaps ultimate vocation, calling, source of income, the main thing as to how you spend your time is, if it's not that clear, you can still be working on those building blocks inside of you that will put you on the front foot for when those opportunities arise, and also for when you make those opportunities as well. How does that sound? Does that all make sense? Now, all of these things in isolation are great, good questions. Number one, remember, what do I love? Number two, what am I good at? Number three, what can I get paid for? And number four, what does the world need? So all great activities to do. And do yourself a little mini audit while you're doing that as well, to think, oh, how far off where I want to be am I? Or knowing this newfound knowledge of, for example, what I'm good at, or what I love doing, how much of that are you applying and using in your daily life? Because if you're not, I'd invite you to think, why is that the case? So even if I think back to when I used to be in my HR job, what I didn't realise then, but what I know now through doing the work and investing the time and the energy and so on, is I'm creative. Love Canva, by the way. Is anybody else obsessed with Canva? That's like one outlet of my creativity. I'm also creative in terms of thinking of new ideas, brainstorming. So you will literally find me. I've met people who have gone on to become good friends or clients in the gym, way back when, in the queue for the bank or something, on the school run, or somebody will message me, I've got a new business, Laura, I'm struggling with what I can call the name. Right, okay, I'm all over this. Boom, 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 boom. So think about what you're good at. So things like creativity for me, connecting with people, communicating, all of that, that all massively helps me to pull it together. So I'll share a graphic of this later. Sorry, I can't share it right now. But if you imagine you had 4 circles, okay? And for each circle, you've got the categories of those 4 questions we've just gone through. Now imagine they overlap in the middle, so they're like a Venn diagram. And in the middle, that's where you've got your sweet spot. That's your ikigai, or what you're really good at. So again, the what do you love overlaps with what you're good at, overlaps with how you're making money, and overlaps with how you impact this world, what the world needs, what your mission is. Please have a go at that, my love, and share any results that you've got. When I did that, I was able to realise, and I did this last year, even though I had some elements of those circles that were working, i.e. I was doing what I was good at, I was competent at, I was very well trained and qualified. Did I love it? I think I had fallen out of love with it. I used to love it. And again, like I said, don't ever think that what you thought was your calling and your purpose at one time, you can't come out of that and try something new. Doesn't mean you have to throw everything away and start from scratch. You can still pull over elements of that, but you absolutely can start again, my friend. And when I realised that the impact of doing that job and that career wasn't as deep as I would like and wasn't as far reaching as I would like, again, I haven't got those circles overlapping, haven't I? So that's what led to the stress, the overwhelm, the frustration, the knowing that there was something else bigger, more attractive, more fun, infinitely better than what I was doing right there. But you have to open your eyes, my friend. You have to open your ears and become a detective in your own life and look for all of those clues and keep on building those circles that are going to overlap together. Does that make sense? Let me check in on some comments. So brilliant. Ange loves it. Rachel, yes. Emma's so empowering. Happiness mindset coach. I'm on this path, but I can't get traction and I'm losing confidence in myself. Absolutely. How frustrating does it get when you don't have that light bulb moment, or you can't necessarily see the light at the end of the tunnel? Or, like the vast majority of us, you're juggling so much. You might have the family, the job, the house, people that you care, support, that depend on you, financial challenges, and on top of that, trying to keep fit, trying to be healthy, trying to read, trying to meditate, trying to journal, blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on, doesn't it? And that's where our lives can just become exhausting and overwhelming because we're spending all of this time and precious energy that's limited in areas that ultimately are not aligned to our values and who we are as people. Hi, Melissa. I've also got, if you haven't got it already, a cracking free values finder that you're very welcome to. Drop me a DM, or if you check in my links, I can give you access to that as well, because that's a really cool exercise where you can help identify what your values are, and then that can drive you as to your thoughts, behaviours and actions that we talked about. So I really hope that that is helpful. So a few final notes, my friends. Let me just check I haven't missed anybody late at the party, but nonetheless enjoying. Good, I'm very pleased about that. Please don't give up if it's not that clear, okay? Think about what the alternative is. So the alternatives, plural, are you stay where you are right now and you don't do anything. How's that working out for you? Genuinely, it might be okay. It might be doable. It might be acceptable. My question to you is, how do you want to live your life? Do you want to live your life playing small, perhaps, keeping it safe, being in your comfort zone? Or do you want to say, wow, I've only got this one life, it's for living, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to rinse it for all it's worth and have so much fun along the way? I really hope it's the latter, because you deserve it, okay? You absolutely deserve it. Other options that you've got are make some changes. Now, they don't have to be drastic, burn the boats kind of changes. They can be gradual, they can be incremental. They don't necessarily have to cost you anything. They don't have to cost or take up a lot of your time. They don't have to upset your parents or your loved ones. always think you've got so many more options than you might ever realise as to how you can start making the changes and the action to moving closer to realising your callings and realising your power and your unique strength and everything that you're capable of, my friend. You're capable of so much more than you know. So much more. So please don't give up on yourself, okay? You've got this. You can do it. Oh, brilliant. Sarah's like, I'm on that now. Fantastic, Sarah. Hiya. Is it always easy? Not necessarily. But even if you think about the people that we might look up to and admire and respect, it could be hopefully people that we know in real life, friends, family members, colleagues, bosses, Susie down the street, who knows. But if you think about some famous people as well, if you think about the stories that you read, the films that you watch, the plays that you might go and see, all of them go through their own version of a hero's journey, don't they? Where they face some kind of struggle. They have to overcome something that really tests their character as well. And then they've got to go into exploring who they are, finding themselves, figuring out ways to get past it and reconnect with people, or get to this new place that they're seeking, or try and get back to how they had it before. So this is all normal. Our lives are not meant to be, for better or worse, 100% hunky-dory, just coasting along, steady road, sunshine every single day. Yes, everything's fabulous, perfect. We're meant as humans to have connection with people. We're meant to experience all of the feelings that we feel. That's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's why we're sophisticated mammals at the end of the day. I'm clearly not a doctor or scientist, so I'll probably move myself along from any biology discussions here. So really think about that as well, my friend, as to what you want, the art of the possible, and how to give yourself that kick up the butt to go for it. I would say as well, another tip, if it's useful at all, is be really clear, conscious and careful, all C's, on who you surround yourself with too. Because whilst you might have people who love you, they die for you, they support you in theory, they might not be the right people to help you get after what you want to go for, or to help you make change in your life, big or small, or to take that risk. And it's because you're breaking out of that pack. You're coming away from what's safe and the path that maybe your loved ones have walked before. So they might be freaked out and scared for you, and nervous if that means that you're taking some form of risk, you're doing something different. You're exposing yourself, or you're setting yourself up potentially for a fall. But we've all heard the expression, haven't we, about, oh, but what if I fall? But my darling, what about if you fly? Imagine that. Imagine you can live your best version of your life. And that doesn't have to be the whole hashtag best life, like looking like an Instagram model by the side of a pool. Oh, that would be nice as well. It's whatever works for you, okay? Because this is your life. So you are the author of your story. You are the director of your movie. You decide who's in your story and who's not. Who's going to be just a one-liner, or somebody that's an extra in the background, and who's going to be lead characters in there. What are going to be the twists and the turns? Because no good book or film would be complete without the twists and turns. And a little tip that I use in my life when something comes up that's completely random or things don't go to plan is shout, plot twist. Didn't see that one coming, did I? It makes it fun. It takes the pressure off. I really hope that's been helpful. I am honestly proof that when you start focusing your mind on what you're capable of, what you deserve, what's out there for you, and you stop being a passenger in your own life, honestly, the joys, the magic, the riches, the pleasure, the people will just blow your mind. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And like I say, I didn't feel this aligned and this ignited and on fire a few years ago. It's taken me a while to find my jam and pull all of that together to have the faith and the passion of what I'm doing right now as a coach and your coach. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Ange. And yeah, love that. Absolutely right. So, my friends, I'm going to love and leave you soon, but I've got an offer before I go. Some of you might be aware that I'm launching a new group coaching program next week. It's called Ignite Your Calling. And my invitation for you is to check it out and see if this is something that you would like to take part in. I've got the early bird offer on for 1 day only. So if you're watching this on the replay, it's Thursday lunchtime. It's on until Friday evening. Melissa, you're on there, sweetheart. I can't wait to see you on there. I'll pop the link in the chat, but it's essentially, if you were to type in ignite.totallyme/calling. This is where I wish that I'd copied and pasted it. Oh, if you're watching this, oh, there you go. I've got a link for that one, but not on Instagram. I'll come back to you guys. Have a look, see if it speaks to you, see if it's something that you want to commit and invest to. And I use those words deliberately because it's not for people who just want to coast or who are like, nah, well, maybe I'll see. Like, I want you to be all in, darling, because you're giving me your time, your money, and your energy, and you will get the results that you deserve. And I've got no doubt you've been longing for ages. So check that out and keep in touch. Keep in touch. Thanks so much, Melissa. The last one was epic, and I need it again now. It's coming to you, babe. Just hold your horses. Next Thursday, boom. Please reach out to me, okay? I am here for you. I'm here with you. Believe in yourself as much as I believe in you, and let's get out there and live our best lives, okay? You all deserve it. Thank you so much for your time. Come and say hi if you're watching this on replay, or thank you so much if you spent your lunch with me. I really appreciate it. Have a fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.